ladies and gentlemen!
What's up, everyone? It is Jason Jani, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you an interview I did with Joe Bunn on his DJS VAULT. And real quick, this is a 2-minute setup to this almost hour-long interview that has a lot of information that is geared towards the mobile or working event DJ professional. So if you're someone that's struggling with performance, you're someone that's struggling building your DJ business or your event business or even your small business, this video might resonate with you and might connect with you. So I highly encourage you checking it out. I'm also going to put some timestamps in the description field down below if you want to see maybe specific targeted areas or you'd like to recall some of the conversation, because we essentially broke the vault once again. Typically Joe does these collaborative sessions once a month or once a week, and he brings in all these different people at different times to talk about different topics to add value to his community. He started the Vault now 3 years ago, has combined a lifetime's worth of work into this online platform that DJs now have access to, where you could hear him speaking, you could hear different topic areas, you could hear different targeted videos, much like you would find on this channel, but it's organized in a way where it's easy to find. There's a lot of value in there, and he shares life lessons and learnings over 30 years in this business. Performance, business, sales, marketing, all of it. It's a valuable gem in this business, and a lot of people don't know about it. He also doesn't have it globally open, but I've got a hookup for all my Jani people, my community, my YouTube tribe in the description field down below. So if you're thinking about or considering jumping in, but you notice that you can't get in because he only opens the admission into the vault twice a year, I've arranged for a VIP Jason Jani exclusive access into the DJS VAULT right in the description field below. I don't even know what the dollars and cents are at this point, but it's not very much. And if you're a DJ that maybe can't get to some of the industry learning conferences, or you're someone that struggles at going to them and staying dialed in, this is something that you can do at your own time, on your own leisure, and there's just a ton of value in it. Anyway, again, if you want to get into the DJS VAULT, you can find information in the description field down below. I've done a bunch of one-on-one sessions with Joe with the Vault community where we talk to people. We also talk about a topic and we share. Joe reached out to me and was like, I want to set the year off proper. I want to motivate some people. Would you mind jumping on with me and talking about pricing, perspective, and where you're at in business? So I said, yeah, sure. I'll be happy to do it. I was in Charleston. I did it right from my hotel room, and we essentially broke the vault. Now, I think we had somewhere in the area of 3 times his normal attendance for these sessions. And it was really, really a good conversation. Afterwards, I've gotten a lot of compliments from people that were attending this real time or saw it afterwards, because once you're a member of the Vault, you can actually recall previous episodes and sessions. And Joe does sessions with so many different people all year long. The Vault, outside of just the learning content, has information that you can go back and you can learn about what was or what did happen, other sessions, other meetings, other one-on-ones, and there's a lot. Music programming, speaking, sales, marketing, branding, all the things that you need to do in this business. He also has this powerful community. It's a closed and curated Facebook community of like over 1,200 members, DJs who are looking to extend and build and just do amazing things. Anyway, if you're a member of the Vault, you get access to that. And that's where his live sessions happen each and every week. I believe he does 2 different live sessions every week, one of which I think is coaching, one of which has someone from the industry talking about something that is relevant. And the topics and the focus areas always change. Anyway, the first episode in 2022 was me. I also did the first episode when they launched the Vault, and we had a great showing then. But this one kind of broke the Vault. We had 3 times what normally goes on there. Joe was super kind enough, because he's a good friend of mine, someone I respect, admire, and just I'm super cool with. He shared the interview with me, and I'm sharing it with you with Joe's permission, along with the ability to welcome anyone and everyone that wants to jump into the DJS VAULT with a secret special Jason Jani VIP link in the description field down below. And I'm just pumped to share it with you. Enough talking for me. I appreciate you. If you are new to the channel, I would be blessed if you support me and this channel with some sub love. Also, if you find value in this content, I would be grateful if you smash the thumbs up button one time. And if you add a comment to this video, would be awesome. I'll do my best to respond to you if you have questions, and let me know if you have questions in the comments down below. Anyway, check out this video. Jason Jani, Joe Bunn, DJS VAULT 2022. Let's Go.
How are you, man? All right, well, let's get it going because Jason's busy and I got another thing at 1, so we're going to get into it today. Let me take this off the screen real quick. So, first off, Happy New Year, everybody. It is the first webinar of 2022. I can't think of a better way to start it out than bringing on my friend Jason Jani. So Jason has been on before. In fact, he was the very first webinar that we ever did on the DJS Vault in February of 2019. We're coming up on our 3-year anniversary. Wow. If you've never watched it, yeah, it's crazy. 3 years went by like that, dude. If you've never watched that video, it is so freaking good. Go back, please, and find it in the vault. Just go in the search in the top right and type Jani, Jani, and I'm sure it'll come up. And he went off that night. It was so good. He was so fired up. He was so fired up that the vault had launched, and he just went off. It was a great one of my favorite moments from the vault history. He even had to take his jacket off. He went straight down to a Jordan throwback NBA jersey. He was so pumped up.
I just want to make a 3-year highlight reel. I just want to be part of the club. Like,
you're going to make the 3-year highlight reel. We're definitely going to have a celebration coming up. So anyway, Jason's here today to kind of kick us off. No slides, no formalities. I just was like, man, come on, talk to the people, tell them what you got going on. But before we get into it, man, just give us the 5-minute Jason Jani / SCE history, because I see a lot of OGs on here, but I also see some of the new people that have joined probably in the past year that might not know your story. So kind of give us the Cliff Notes version of, the background, the phone thing, what you were doing, and then how long SCE's been around, and kind of your path over the last, let's just say, decade plus.
I would say to anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Jason Jani. I started a company called the SCE Event Group officially in 2009. I've done this for a lot longer than I probably ever want to say out loud, much like some of the people that are probably in this chat or people that are starting their career. You will get there one day if you stay with it. I've spent 15 years of my life trying to influence our industry to not cut corners and to be bigger, to be bolder, to do different things. And I've also tried to do my part to inspire people that attend the events that we all do to think bigger of what a private event DJ is capable of doing. I've tried to change a shitty stereotype that is associated with everyone that's watching this right now in some way, shape, or form by some people that are narrow-minded or just think a DJ is a dude that rolls in with a poorly fit tuxedo and 2 speakers, or a girl or whatever, and just doesn't know how to play music properly and tells bad jokes and does painful dances that no one wants to do. And that's really it. I started doing this when I got out of high school. I kind of was originally supposed to go away and wrestle my way through college to do like collegiate wrestling. And I found music, going to a club, which totally shifted my mind. And I got infatuated with entertainment and the industry. And then I started DJing. And then long story short, I started doing private events. I spent a lot of time in the nightlife world, but the times were very different. I stopped doing private events, focused mainly on nightlife, started doing a bunch of other events, which led me back to private events. I've worked with a lot of people that you can see on television, hear on radio, or watch in movies, athletic organizations. I've done a lot of different things over a long period of time. And I started my company after I was a side hustle DJ where I did this primarily 5 nights a week and on weekends while I managed a full-time job working as an engineering manager for AT&T in networking and telecom. That's telecom. My degrees are in network and communications management. And it eventually got to a point where it was costing me money to go to work where I had a 6-figure solid income, benefits, 10 weeks of vacation. I had an incredible opportunity, incredible job. And I took the leap of faith in 2009 to start what is now SCE. And since then, I've been able to do a lot of things I'm super proud of in a lot of pretty places for a lot of amazing people. And it's been one hell of a journey. So I don't, that's a Cliff Notes version.
No, it is. He's done a lot, man. And if you're not following him on Instagram, he's a amazing person to follow. Just from an inspiration standpoint, and just somebody that really has figured out what to post and what to say. He's at Jason Jani. and then the company is at SCE Event Group, if I'm not mistaken. SCE Event Group up in New Jersey. So make sure you're following those two accounts. We're going to talk a little bit about his YouTube channel in a little bit, but Jason and I, we speak at least, well, first and foremost, I don't know, we remember when we met each other, and it was at Mobile Beat at this kind of like side dinner thing. We went to this Mexican restaurant one night. I would say it's probably been 6 years or so. Jay, do you think that's about right?
Yeah, 7, somewhere around there.
7 years ago. We were definitely in Las Vegas. We were near that giant Ferris wheel thing at some Mexican restaurant. I had heard his name repeatedly from people, like, you and Jani are doing crazy shit, and this guy Jani, and he just did a photo shoot with his guys, and they were wearing wedding dresses, and I'm like, dude, who is this guy? And somehow by karma or circumstance, we get put across from each other at this table. I look across, and I'm like, dude, look how cool this dude is. Like, he's got the tats, he's got the jean jacket. I'm like, who are you, man? What's your deal? And he's like, I'm Jason Jani. I'm like, holy shit. And now we're finally face to face, and we just started chopping it up. I mean, within a couple of months, 2-3 months later, he's down at the beach with me here in North Carolina. We're hanging off a boat and burning tuxedos on the beach together and shooting photographs. And man, we've just kind of been attached at the hip, even though we don't live really near each other ever since. And
we've gone to shows.
We went to see P. Diddy and DMX came out, and there's a great video from that. That was a great night, and we've been all over. And we started this thing with Brian B, called the DJ Collective, which has just gotten bigger and bigger every year. And Jason, is constantly pushing the envelope. And I'm like, man, we got a great lineup this year. And then Jani, like 3 days before the conference, like, I'm thinking about making it one step better. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm gonna bring Fat Man Scoop in. And I was like, what? I mean, he's that kind of guy. He's always trying, like he said, to make the DJ industry better, to make himself better, to make the DJ Collective that we do together better. And I can surround myself with somebody like him. But so that's how, we kind of met. And again, he was the first webinar we ever did on the DJS VAULT. And so we speak often about personal life shit. We speak often about business shit. And I want to kind of, I think parlay this conversation, and we didn't really have a formal topic. We were like crushing it in 2022 or something generic like that. But I was on a call Sunday night with Spinelli and 2 other people for the Canadian Disc Jockey Association, CPDJ, I think. And it was a panel, so I didn't have to really prepare, but it was about pricing. And Jay and I have talked about this relentlessly. He's in the middle of it right now. About reworking the entire way he does business, because he is what everybody thinks they want to be, but he'll tell you that it's not all sunshine and puppies. He's overbooked. He's got too many shows on the book, quite frankly, too far into the future. And Jay, kind of just touch on your numbers from 21, 22, and then 23, and then what you're doing to kind of rectify it, to raise your price, to just kind of walk us through your game plan and your goal, man, because I think it's so important that everybody on here listens to this, whether they have 10 shows next year or 150.
I think pricing is one of the most sensitive topics for us
it
to
is
all conversation about.
It is, and we don't even have to talk about numbers, like numerics.
And I think it comes down to, like, you work. I've worked tirelessly for what I feel like is forever, to become something that one day I will look back at and be proud of. I say this all the time. I never wanted to be the greatest thing that never was. I never wanted to be that. When I started this, I never wanted to be that 50-year-old DJ telling my daughter I was a DJ as she got older. And I don't mean to know use the number 50, but I know what you're saying. Saying like, yeah, I was a DJ, and her being like, yeah, Dad, okay. Yeah. And that's a very honest thing, like we all, so like people sometimes look at me or look at my content and they're like, well, like I want to do that, but they don't understand the time, the energy, the sacrifice, the work that has built up what is now the SCE Event Group. And that even includes my team. Sometimes they don't even know what goes on. And like,
same,
all of the things that you see are like the end result, but they don't put in context the steps going there. So when we talk about numbers, right?
Yeah.
In 2018, I did well over 200 shows, and I traveled to a bunch of different countries, and I played in a bunch of different states. I played the Super Bowl after party. That was a glorious year for my business, my career, my life in so many different ways. But there was a lot of personal sacrifice and personal struggles that happened at the same time, probably because of this crazy formula that I was living in terms of the hamster wheel. 19, same, much of the same. 2020, everything got flipped upside down with outside of everyone's control. And we've talked about that here in the vault. And this year was really like our comeback year. And, you know, from a business perspective, we've done more this year than we've ever done before. The company has made more money than ever before, but that doesn't translate to money in my pocket or money in like team's pockets, because a lot of the income that was had this year was income that was previously earned but not delivered on. Right? We had contracts. We talk about I think I've talked about this on the vault, but when people talk about postponements, we had well over 1,400 events postponed from COVID. So we talk about scale. It's not just me, it's an organization. And there's a lot of people that rep the SCE brand and fly the flag. And, you know, like my team was like way over 50 and like everyone was impacted. Like so many people, just the scales are different, right? And I look at now where we are. I'm going into this year. I have more weddings than I really can do. I tell more people no than I can do yes. And I work a lot more than a lot of people by the grace of like doing the work and putting the time in and building the foundation. And then I look at my next year and I already have, 40 something weddings for next year. And then I look for 2 years out and I already have 40 something weddings. And I even have 2025 bookings on my calendar. So now I'm looking at things from a very different perspective because
you were really open. You were really open about that post where you're like, I closed my book. Like I stopped booking.
You know what happened was I was at a point where I was at a wedding that I had 3 weddings that postponed to the same day. So I was at the most complicated wedding to do, and our team was doing other weddings, all of which were executed perfectly. I shout out to Jeff. Like our whole team is just amazing. Christian, Chris, the man, everybody's so solid, and I'm so grateful for that. But I'm doing this wedding, and I was really just looking at this room, and I'm like, I don't know if this is what I've always wanted, but COVID has made me appreciate things much differently. So I'm like, is this really where I want to be for the next, couple of years at this point? Because like, I'm just feeding this cycle that's never ending. And, I have exposure everywhere. We're recommended by a ton of venues. We have great relationships with amazing partners, amazing people. I often DJ for other DJs and all these cool things. I'm so proud of it. But I'm like, it all comes with a cost. And what is that cost? Because like the cost of life is going up everywhere. It costs more money to execute everything. No one wants to work. Everyone's financially motivated in some capacity. So like all of the things are checking out where it's like, okay, well, this equation is not working in my favor. And I'm the one doing a majority of this long haul work where people are getting paid more, everything costs more, and I'm making less money and I'm working harder. So
Plus, you booked those people at 24 and 25 probably at the current pricing. Let's just say it's $5,000. Like, so you're not even including cost of inflation, or like now you're roped into pricing from a different time period.
Who knows what's going to come tomorrow? So, like, I'm not someone that embraces a package pricing philosophy. On my YouTube channel, I've done this deep dive into like how I price things out, why you should have pricing on your website, why you should not hold back on getting that information out to the world, because like, candidly, it's going to save you time and energy with them having that information before they even reach out to you, because they will either qualify themselves or not. So like we start our pricing, we kind of tell you where they're going to land, we give you everything. But in my world, we're a production company. We do a lot of high end and big events, and we do a lot of complicated technology events where we have layers of lighting, layers of technology, layers of media, layers of activations with photo booths and all these different things. And when I go on these events, everything, we might start at 5,000, but the end product could be 20,000 or 15,000 or 12,000 or 8,000 or 6,000. But that money today is not what it's going to be in 2 years, because everything's changing, right? So I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, well, I value my time. I value my family time. I value my own personal time. Even if I'm working at this craft, I'm a working DJ, but I'm also a business owner. I'm also a dad. I'm also a friend. I also have a life that I want to live now. And where do you find the time to do all of this, and at what cost? So I'm going through this crazy realization process, and where I'm actually updating everything that we do. And I've taken a business coach to shake my mind up, and like he's really like challenged my thinking. And I'm like, this is the top, and then I'm like, wait, is it the top because it's never been done before? Or because like I'm limiting my top to where it could be? So I'm at this place where I'm like, okay, well, like my calendar year is capped. I got to this point where I was doing this wedding, and I'm like, I had like 18 leads come in to work with me in one weekend in December, which is like unheard of. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to do all this work? Like, I can't even, like, I'm struggling keeping up with my email at this point. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I'm literally going to bury myself before I get to next year because there's just too much going on. These are all great problems that you work so hard to create.
Yeah, sure. And
I'm like, I got to stop. I'm just stopping. So I shut my calendar. I literally had appointments booked. I'm like, you have an appointment tomorrow? I'll meet with you. After that, nothing. I need some time to figure it out. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And I've opened up my calendar, and I had an influx of people come in, and I have things people are buzzing, but I'm still not sure if I've changed my world enough to make sense. And that's just an honest thing. I think a lot of people do. So when I started my business, people were like, you'll never get $1,350 for a wedding. You'll never get it. People will never pay that. And I'm like, I believe they will. I believe I bring value to the table that justifies that expenditure. And it doesn't matter the dollars and cents. It matters of the world around us, especially other DJs, are so quick to argue the opposite as opposed to supporting someone. They're so quick to say you can't do that, or you're never going to get it because they couldn't do it, or they weren't willing to take the chance of the unknown and to kind of battle security, right? And I look at a lot of things right now in our world, and I'm just confused because I feel that our tribe, especially like with Crate Hackers and the Vault and the DJ Collective and all the other conferences and groups and organizations, we, after the past 2 years, I almost wish our industry learned more about what we couldn't do and bonded together even further to push our industry forward. Like, everyone should be cheering other people on. And we're like one of the only industries I know of where people just throw shade and hate. And like, it's like, it doesn't build up the right way. It doesn't make sense to me. Where like you go to a lot of other places or a lot of other industries, and people like, they invest in education. They invest in trying to be better. They don't cut as many corners. I mean, I don't know. I could be all over the place, but I'm all about pushing my energy forward. And that's where my, I guess, the frame is for today.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, just to kind of put a bow on the pricing thing, and again, the number is not as important as the valuation, if you will. So, in other words, for me, I do the same as Jan. I try and operate at what I think is the top, and I charge more than all my guys. I run a team just like Jani does, and that keeps me usually only out in the field 2 or 3 weekends a year. A month. And that keeps me around 40 shows, 45 shows, where Jani does triple that just himself, not even speaking about the company right now. And so I always look at it from a standpoint of, I want to hit that sweet spot where I still get booked. I don't want to come up with something truly offensive where nobody's ever going to book me, but I also want to have those free weekends. And I think that's what he has struggled with now, you know what I mean? Especially with the population and the popularity of him and his company in New Jersey. It's just like, again, he can't possibly take on any more work. So, and he doesn't want to go back to, I've been with him when he was in a dark spot, you know what I mean? And overwhelmed and burnt out. And that's, to me, that's the worst thing you can do in this job. You know what I mean? Is burn yourself out, because it's such a great job. So I guess that's, what I'm saying is, are you basically doing the math now and saying, I need to charge X and do X number of shows, and that'll still make me the same or more money? Is that kind of where you are?
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm also like one really valuable thing that I learned. So like, you know, a lot of times, right? And depending on where you're at in your career, there's people that will chase the carrot that they think is going to equate to more opportunity. So like you get that call from that one person you've always wanted to work for, work with, and they reach out to you. They expect you to take it on the chin and do it for nothing or next to nothing or a sliver of what you really would be asking for. And you take that opportunity and you run with it and you crush it, and it doesn't really pan out opportunity, right? Like you position yourself, and maybe you got a shout out. I was talking about this last night at a dinner that I was at, where people that are typically featured in People magazine are asked to like donate their services for exposure, which never equates to like an ROI that makes sense. I work for a lot of celebrity clients, so I kind of know how this works, but like I've worked for them in a different context because I've gotten paid, and that's a different whole algorithm. But where I'm going with this is one thing that I learned is every year when you set a marketing budget, let's just say, and you spend your money advertising with AdSense or impressions or positioning with story boosts or TikTok, whatever, or however you're marketing your business. One really valuable tip that I just learned not too long ago, which I've never done before, which I literally started the day this happened, was the beginning of every year, you set a marketing budget. If it's 10,000, if it's 4,000, if it's 400,000. And every time you're asked to do one of these events, whatever the difference is from what you're getting paid versus what you're charging or getting from them versus what you would normally charge, you take a withdrawal from that account. So you didn't actually do it for free. You just used marketing dollars that you had allocated for your business, which makes the most sense. I don't really do a lot of free things.
That.
Like over time, I have done that because like I've always done the things that I thought were going to benefit my organization, my team. When I think about things, I think about myself, but I also think about like the universe of talent that surrounds the SCE event group. And I think about positioning. I think about like, if I do this one thing, am I going to generate for whether it's me or someone else? What am I going to get back for this? So like my drive for this year is about intention and purpose. If it doesn't have a place in line with like where I want to go, it doesn't make sense. And it's not just money, right? So like the thing with money and marketing is we often all get, hey, I want you to do this. It'll be great exposure opportunity, which means nothing. Like it's not going to make the phone ring. Or maybe
I can't feed my family off exposure. Right.
So like rather than take it on the chin, just take from your budget, because like essentially you should be paid for your work. You should be paid for your time. And like the one part of this business that I think is almost invaluable and no one has talked about it is the creative process that goes into what it is that we do, right? Like whether it's the time invested, whether it's the brainstorming, whether it's the conversations, whether it's the creating, working with someone and developing a plan for someone's day, that almost becomes like a byproduct of investing in someone's service, when really there should be something allocated for that part of the overall business that you're running. Because just going out and rocking a party, that's worth something, yes. But so are all the conversations that lead up to that point where you arrive on site and you push your equipment into that room, you set it up, and then you crush that party for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And like that's something like people in our world don't ever think about. And I feel like business as a whole it's missing so many pieces in our industry by so many, right? So many people have successful businesses despite like getting in the way from having us, like getting in the way of having a successful business, meaning like, like they have something good going on, but they almost sacrifice themselves in a way where they could have had so much more if that's the carrot they're chasing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that the problem is, that a lot of DJs are at the end of the day are creatives and they're artists and they don't know how to run a business. You know what I mean? I think it's rare. And that's when you have to surround yourself with better people, better lawyers, better bookkeepers, better admin people. And that's what Jason and I have done. I mean, we are good at both. He's probably better at both than I am, but that's how we've become successful, is bridging the gap between not only being a good entertainer, but a businessman or a businesswoman as well. And so, there's one more thing I want to touch on before, I mention this, and because there's a lot of people working or watching. This is most people, by the way. This is the power of Jason Jani. I would usually say I estimate about 45 people on these noon webinars. There's 116 people watching, and that just is that shout out to you right there, man. I know he gets fired up over that, so I wanted to make sure I pointed that out.
Hold on.
Going back to the Jordan jersey. And so I want to just mention this for people that are not overwhelmed with leads, that are not Jason Jani or have a bun DJ company in the wings, but you're trying to aspire to that or grow to that. There's a few things you can do. Number one, set the price point at what you think your time is worth, what your day is worth, what your Saturday is worth. And I was on that Canadian thing the other night, and Gerald Hood, who might be on here right now, great guy from Canada, great DJ, really good businessman, goes to every DJ conference, has done everything that I've ever offered, studied it. He was making the really good point of setting his pricing based on how much it costs him to go out and do a show. So what is the value of an hour of your time? How about your assistant? What about those bags of gunpowder for the cold sparks? Put that into it. How about the gas to get there? How about the extra wash light that you had to get for the dance floor, the extra up light for the one that broke? Like, factor in what a show costs and then work to get your price from that. You know what I mean? He said there's thousands of DJs all over Canada and the United States going out and doing shows and actually losing money because they've never backed it down from this standpoint.
You talk about gas. Tolls, the use of your car for that day, the cost of insurance allocated over the course of a year, breaking it down to how many events you do. Like, you have to look at things as a business, and like that will get you further. I also think like a lot of people, and I don't mean to stir anyone up in the wrong way, but like a lot of people want to do certain things, but they don't understand that energy is required to make things happen. Like, you might hear these numbers and be like, that's what I want that. But you might not know that there's 12 years of literally relentless hard work behind it. And it's not like I'm just like saying that and I'm going to go on about my day. Like, my phone rings. I turn my phone off at night because I can't take calls anymore or text messages. I can't have the thing ding anymore. And I wake up and there's 6 or 7 waiting for me every day. And that's not a life that everyone wants. And nor should you want that. So like, don't listen to these numbers and get lost in that sauce of like, oh, I have to have that. I want to do it. You have to do what works within your lifestyle. If you have a full-time job and you do this as a side hustle, you don't need to worry about so many things. That's why like I'm always a big fan of DJs working for an organization, a collaborative organization. And I'm going to drop a video. Nick's been asking me to do this for a while, and I've been really thinking about it a lot lately, but I want to shake my YouTube up, and I want to kind of share the SCE business blueprint, which I think is going to upset a lot of people in some ways, because I try to create a more of a talent management organization that allows people the ability to thrive, not just allowing people the ability to survive. And it's a different way of thinking. Like, I try to empower any one of the people that represent the SCE flag to not just like crush their goals. Like, I want them to do so much more than they even like. I want to be their biggest cheerleader. I want to be pushing them off. And you could ask any one of the people that work at SCE about that. And it's not about widget in, widget out. It's about like literally have this conversation with every single person at the beginning of every year. I'm like, tell me where you want to be. Tell me your numbers. I want you to tell me what you want, and I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get you to that number, because that right there is what it all matters. Demand is a great example of that. I mean, this man is one of the most talented DJs, hands down, that I know of on this planet. But the dude was always held down by people that he worked for. They never gave him an opportunity. So I had a conversation with him, and I'm like, bro, like, I want to help you. And I'm not trying to like monetize you. Like, we're all going to make money in the process. That's the business part of the conversation. But let me give you the ability to fly. Like, fly on your terms that works with your style, that fits our umbrella in a way that like makes sense for people. And like, by having that happen, like, Demand's in the chat. He just literally is like, true story. Like, this is how it goes down. Like, this is not like a whatever. And
no, he's. I mean, I as somebody that's an outsider looking in, and I was on a podcast. There's a new podcast out, by the way, for DJs. You guys will love it. It's the Drew and Fuse Show.
Oh, I
Drew
listened
Pierce.
to that, by the way.
Drew Pierce
But
and Fusemania. They're two editors that work with Jani over at Direct Music Service. If you're not a member of that record pool, join it. They're phenomenal record pool. Anyway, and I go on their podcast. I think we recorded Monday morning, and I spent 15, 20 minutes about hyping up basically the SCE event group and how everybody there is a rock star. Somebody just put in the chat, SCE is the Avengers. That's actually pretty true. I mean, you could say Spider-Man is this guy. You could say Thor is this guy. I mean, you could literally probably pick out a reason to name each of the people there as one of the Avengers. And he's not just sitting here spitting, just bullshit. Like, that's exactly how it runs over there. And so, anyway, I don't want to get too deep in this because I know you got to get back to your thing, and I've got a meeting at 1. But I do want to touch on. So we talked a little bit about pricing, and the one last thing I'll say about pricing is the only thing that both of us are truly going to beg of you and beseech you is please, please, please do not set your price at the bottom. No matter where you are in your career, it is terrifying to the consumer. They're not going to book you because it's so low. So if everybody in your go ahead.
Dude, Nick did a video that was awesome on YouTube on Nick Spinelli's channel where he's talking about like the average DJ cost and who does these events. And he wasn't throwing shade at the DJs. He's talking about like our industry and the problems it has. Yeah. I've literally done events, celebrity events, where I was hired by the celebrity themselves, not by the event planner, where the event planner was totally like great in the conversation. And he's like, how many events do you do? And I'm like, this. He's like, how much do you cost? Yeah. I'm like, this. And he's like, you're not exclusive enough for me. And I'm like,
yeah, you told me that story.
I'm going to blow this fucking building off the map tonight. And you're telling me I'm not? He's like, it's not about how good you are, kid. And I'm like, kid, I'm I'm an adult. Like,
I'm a grown ass man.
Who are you, I'm like, I'm about to rip my shirt off. Like, who is this guy? And I'm like, but I'm looking at the context of the conversation, and more is not always better. That's the point.
Yes,
and like,
that's where I'm trying to go. Yeah.
Like, no matter where you are in the business, you have to make sure you're doing what's best for you, your family, and the people that surround you. You need to make sure you take care of the people and account for the people that are supporting you and allowing you to do what you do. Make sure that you take care of them. Make sure that they are paid and they are paid on time. Make sure that your pricing represents what links in your industry, in your little local market, because regionally, across the country, in different areas, everything is different. So like, don't look at what Joe's saying about here or I'm saying about here as what you can do in the middle of Kansas in like farm country. It's not the same.
That's why we didn't even get into the numbers today. That's why I intentionally don't care what you make. I don't, it's more about not operating at the bottom at this point. And also not, if you're booking every show and every lead that comes your way, like Jason said, you're not exclusive enough. I used to get so upset when I would get that email, you're out of our price range. But now I don't want to get that every time, but I want to get that a few times a week. You're out of our price range.
Every client is not for you. Every couple is not for you. Every opportunity is not for you. And like,
exactly,
that's the biggest thing you have to understand. And if people that are looking to grow a business and to have everything, like, you have to work. Like, the one thing you have to always keep in mind is like, you're only as good as the people that are around you. Like, and in order for them to stay loyal to you and to stay, I have literally 12 people that work for me that all of which can go off and start their own successful entertainment company tomorrow.
Facts.
The reason why they don't is because there's power in collaboration. I always use the analogy, if it snowed 3 feet today and I had to go shovel my driveway with a hand shovel myself.
I've never done that.
It's going to take me 3 hours, right? But if I got 10 guys by my side and we do that all together, we're going to do that in probably like 20 minutes because we're more efficient. We're smarter. We're all working together. And that's like the power of like our world. So like, all of this hate and shade and all the things that people throw at each other and all this bullshit on some of the forums that is out there, it upsets me sometimes to the core, because if we all just work together a little bit, just even once in a while, like, think of how and what positive can come out of that. So like, when we talk about pricing, like, it's great to share your stuff. It's good to like get other people's opinions on things, but like, if it doesn't work for them, don't like take that and say like, well, it's definitely not going to work for me. Like, you have to look at your cost to do things. When someone just mentioned, where do I start? Start getting
I
started.
saw
Well,
that. Yeah.
it depends what it costs you to do your work. Think about what it costs you to go to a party. What does it cost for your time? What do you make? How much money did you spend on your gear? When do you plan on making the return on whatever that investment is? Like, you
So
have to
true,
just
man.
break it apart and do like business 101 stuff. Follow my channel because I
It,
throw a lot of that stuff
yeah,
up on you.
there it
Where
is
you
on
can,
the bottom of the screen, by the way. Go ahead and just bookmark that. I couldn't agree more with everything he's saying. It's the same with me as I've gotten older when I realized that what is the value of an hour of my time. I paid somebody, a housekeeper the other day to come and clean the office because I didn't want to sit there and scrub the floor in the studio. I paid somebody to detail a black car that I have because I'm not good at it and I don't want to sit out there for an hour when my hour is worth more time sitting here booking shows or talking to you guys.
and I'm not meaning this to be confrontational to someone that's on this thing, but Jerry said you need to be somewhere in the range. I disagree. Also, he says sometimes people don't understand what you offer. Just giving them a price without a presentation is a disservice to yourself. And I'm like, I actually totally disagree with you because if my pricing doesn't fit the world of what they can spend, why am I going to waste an hour of my time trying to convince them that they need to have me? I'm going to move on and focus my time on someone else that is willing to spend that much money. And it's like, if they don't want to spend that money, there's always going to be someone else coming in. You just have to work more to create that opportunity. So like, I can go back and forth on every argument that comes through this chat right now. But like, if you just sit in what is, you're never going to grow. If you just sit in a comfortable range, you're never going to push the boundaries. Like, if you want to be the best, you have to take risks. You have to put stuff out there. You have to change the way you're doing it. Maybe it's more time meeting with people before you get to that party. Maybe it's better results when you're at the party. Maybe it's you figuring out how much time you're going to put into scratching and how you're going to incorporate that, maybe by using the DJ Demand videos on the Jason Jan on YouTube, on how you're going to make that actually a real thing at your parties. Like, that's real deal conversation. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
Yeah, dude. I mean, people are screaming, preaching here. Like, this is why I have him on, man, because he just goes off. I only need a couple.
Come on, every week. Let's go.
I know if he didn't have to go back to this not thing, and then I didn't have to go, we would be on here all afternoon, and maybe we'll do that one day as the 3-year anniversary rapidly approaches. So, Jason, in the last few minutes here, just tell me, it doesn't have to be a number. What are your not personal goals, but a few of your business goals for this year, and then conclude with talking about what you were just talking about a second ago, your YouTube channel, which is rapidly getting ready to overtake my numbers, and your content is fantastic. But just talk about a few of the goals for SCE or yourself in terms of business, and then also just kind of conclude talking about the YouTube.
In terms of business, I'm no longer going to look at sheer volume of numbers to quantify how successful I am. I'm looking at what it is that we're doing at that point in time and how are we living the dream of what SCE was set out to do, and that is to be creative and to help people bring these crazy ideas to life, right? I'm not going to define my business by I want to do 2,000 events a year like I did last year or 2 years ago. I'm not going to say I want to be a $5 million company because I think that just only limits where I'm going to be capable of going. I think for me, it's about finding the right balance between personal life and work life and continuing on my path to empower people like a DJ Demand, like a Nick Spinelli, like a Jeff Scott Gould, like a Paul Knotts or Christian Lagateria or Chris Obando or Dexter Feliciano or Seth Velez or any Bobby LaFauci, any of the SCE family to live their dream. I think that's my pure business goal. And along the way, I want to do some passion projects of mine, like the DJ Collective, like the digital DJ tips thing that I did with Phil and the masterclass that we did a couple of years ago, like grow my free content YouTube channel to help inspire people to do bigger and better things. That, you know what, my channel, I started this channel because I needed a creative outlet because I was literally on the border of like going deep dive into depression because of all of the impacts of COVID. So like I've always gained from a personal perspective when I've taken time and I've given back to something. So like for me, this is a passion project where I needed a creative release, but I also thought, dude, I've made millions of dollars doing this. I've played for some of the biggest names in hip hop, athletics, movies, talk shows. I've done some amazing things for amazing people. And along the way, I've built relationships. I've fucked some shit up. I've built lifelong friendships, and I've also discovered like the misery in others that like literally is presented when over time and whatever. I've had great relationships. I've had bad relationships. I went through a divorce. I've helped people accomplish their dreams, and I'm like, if I can share one piece of information that helps another DJ who I don't even have to know avoid a mistake, avoid an expensive kind of proposition, a time suck. So whether I save you time, energy, or money by sharing something that I've experienced real life as a business owner or a DJ, that's what my channel's about. So like I started this channel to kind of give back, and it's such a humbling process to go through YouTube, but I absolutely look forward to doing it because it's like challenging what's comfortable for me. And I feel like every time I do that, something comes from that I learn either about myself or about the business. And I might not have the largest number of followers by far, but I have an incredible community of people that have not only engaged, but supported content in different ways. And I'm just grateful for it. And I feel like I'm doing my little part of giving back, because if I do that and 10 other people do that, our world gets a little bit better. And that's really like the point, right? Like I never want to retire from this business and look back and be like, oh, I wish I shared more of like my learnings. Cause like,
no, he puts it out there, right?
Take it from the industry. So like, how do I give back? How do I help someone get to that next level? How do I push them past that plateau? How do I help them build a successful business or leave their full-time job that they hate every day? Like, what can I do to support someone in a way that I know how and have fun along the way? That's what it's all about.
I love it, man. So much love in the chat for you and the passion that you're, throwing out there. So I'm just saying, I want to just kind of circle back on one thing that I was thinking about as Jason was talking. And, let's put aside last year, everybody had to catch up. Jason just said, I mean, they had 1,400 people postponed. He had to do other people's shows. People had to do his shows. We just had to take care of all the people that had to deal with trying to have a wedding in the middle of of the worst thing that's ever happened in our lifetime. And so take that out of it. But doing, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, weddings, which are hard as shit to prepare for and be ready for and be on point for, which Jason was doing, Mike Walter was doing, I was not doing. I just got lucky, I think, but it's not a badge of honor. It is a grind. And again, you're taking away some of the passion for it. Jason didn't want to be out there 6 days in a row. I can tell you that. As much as he loves this shit, he didn't want that. And I don't want you guys to be doing that. I'd rather you scale up. I'd rather you raise your prices. I would rather you do anything but be out there 6 days in a row, especially doing weddings or anything that's just taking your energy and you're not getting what you're worth. And that's,
if you love it, it's different. If you're doing clubs and you love that vibe,
sure,
like
that's different.
Like, it's a little bit different, but a wedding's it could be a complicated animal. And like, yeah, you could just do the same shit you've done for the past 3 months. I don't want to repeat what I did 3 months ago. I want to create, I want to do some different stuff. And like, I feel like a lot of DJs get in this like rut of like what works and what's comfortable. Hey, I know I'm going to play this song. I'm going to open up with this. I'm going to go to this. I'm like, I've done it. Like, I'm not scared to admit it. And like those crutches allow you to kind of break into a room and then like figure out where you're going next. Right. But like, challenge yourself, challenge your business. Like you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your business. It makes things more fun. And like, this year has taught so much about like just people. Like people have, like not just DJs and people that work in the organization, but people that are attending events, like the entitlement, like I'm not saying these things to like say like, yo, you guys should be like me. Cause I would tell anyone, you probably don't want to do what I've done because like I've made mistakes beyond repair that like literally I will deal with for the rest of my life. And it is what it is. But like you guys all watching this have the ability to craft a future for yourselves doing something that is so amazing. At the end of the day, we help people celebrate love and life and all the goodness that exists in the universe, or just escape reality for a set number of hours when they're in front of you, whether you're doing a bar, a club, a karaoke party, whatever you do. Like embrace that and like love that, smile more, be kind to people, like just people feel your energy even through this. If you think I'm passionate, fired up, like throw ones in the chat. Like you understand that. Imagine going to one of my parties. I'll like light shit up.
He goes
like,
nuts. Yeah, he goes nuts. So we're gonna circle back and do this again around the 3-year anniversary in about a month. I'm gonna let Jani go. I know he's got to go. I got to get to this meeting at 1. You guys, everybody, I posted it. Several people posted it. Let's show Jani the power of this group. I was like, dude, we're going to get your subs up. So everybody click the link in both of the groups. I just posted it live, or you can read it off the screen. Everybody show him some love. Go subscribe to his channel right now and look for his next video. Everybody's throwing ones in the chat. Again, most number of people we've had on a webinar in probably over a year. I'm going that far, over a year. And the last time was probably when me, you, and Brian did something over a year ago. So, look, people are saying I've already subbed. I've subbed. I saw the new Pioneer controller on Jani's too.
I got another fourth video. I think I'm about to record right now. I'm so fired. I got some super exclusive stuff now.
He's got some heat.
I'm letting it out of the bag. I'm leaking it. I hope I don't burn relationships. It's all coming out today. I'm letting it.
Dude, he's got some heat coming. I can tell. He was like, I'm so fired up. I'm shot out of a cannon. I'm like, are you really coming on at noon today? Because I don't want to send out this text blast if you're not going to show up. He's like, I swear I'll make it happen. I'll be there. So this was a great way to start off the year, man. I appreciate you being here. All you guys that take your lunch hour, or if you're on the West Coast, you're waking up to us talking about this stuff. Man, we're pulling for you. Just know that. Like if you're on the grind and you're hustling and you're doing your thing, man, it will pay off. And we appreciate y'all being here to listen to us.
Yo, real quick too. And if there's
final thoughts, yeah.
You guys are in the struggle and you're like, whatever. Like, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Whether you reach out to someone like Joe, you reach out to me, you reach out to someone that you respect in your area. Like, if you're struggling with some shit, you're going through some heaviness, you're just not sure where to go next. Don't just guess. Like, take time out of your day. Like, people offer coaching, people offer one-on-one time. Like, invest in it, because like, I know it might sound sometimes expensive to take $100 and spend whatever an hour with someone on Zoom or whatever the cost is. I don't even offer this, and maybe I need to do this in the future, but like reach out to someone and say like, yo, I know you're busy, but I have this really big question, and like, be prepared and be like, this is what I'm struggling with. Can I set some time up and either I'll DoorDash you food and we can talk through it and have lunch virtually together, or like, can I give you a couple $100 for your time, because like, that thing is going to help me get past this struggle that I'm having. And whether there's a financial component to it, or you're setting someone lunch or whatever, like, reach out. Like, look, there's resources everywhere, and like, don't be afraid to give your time. I mean, there's people I sat with about library organization and how I use the Crate Hacker system, and I'm like, I literally sat with them, and I went on Zoom. I'm like, yo.
Oh, I paid Mike Villa. I'm like, Mike, just show me how you organize. I got to get these crates together. And he showed me. He's Serato expert. You know, like, you think Jani's got a business coach? I pay people to help me. Like, you gotta have a mentor. You gotta have business coaches. You gotta be in these organizations. You gotta go to the DJ conferences.
I never did that before, and I'm like, you know what? I've done really well. I'm super proud. But like. There's so much more. And like, sometimes you just need to look at things from a different perspective. And why guess when you can go to someone that's actually got a history, like, not like a faux, fake history. Like, they legit have done it before. Go to someone that's proven that they can help you. And like, that's where the gold is. And like, you start a relationship, you never know. I met Joe on a conversation. I brought my family to his beach house. I've kicked it on his boat. I've made him drink too many drinks. I actually was the adult at last DJ Collective. Joe was on a tear. I'm like, I always have that guy's back, and he's always got mine. But I can go to him with problems sometimes. I'm like, Joe, how would you deal with this? Mike Walter, how would you deal with this? Sometimes you're like, yo, I ain't got time for this today. And other times you're like, you got 5 minutes? I'll give you 5 minutes. Let's just talk about it real quick. And like, just a conversation can help you and change the trajectory. One decision that you make, good or bad, could change where tomorrow leads. And like, never forget that. Never give up. If you love this, stay the course. Take care of yourself. Take care of your people. And just subscribe to that channel on YouTube.
Yeah. We love you guys, man. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us this afternoon. Jani, thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate you more than you know. Man, so much good stuff on here. Thanks, everybody. And again, have a great rest of your day. We will do this again soon, and I promise you we'll go on a marathon tear next time. Thank y'all, everybody.